In today's video, top 5 practice mistakes. Michael here at Making Music, and today we are once again talking about the dreaded practice, and in particular the top 5 mistakes I have seen students making time and time again. So we're going to be going through all 5 of them, and you may find there's some different to yours. That's absolutely fine. As you know, there's a million and one ways to play music and a million and one ways to go about it. My advice, based on my education, bachelor's degree from Trinity, master's degree from Royal College, and been playing and teaching professionally for over 20 years. Hope you find something you like. If you do, great. If you don't, that's okay too. In any case, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts, like the video, and even better if you subscribe. So let's get into it. You might be a teacher, in which case you might have a completely different list of top 5. That's absolutely fine. This particular top 5 is my pet peeves from my students, which drives me absolutely nuts. Please, why did my students do this? So yeah, I hope they match. If they don't, please, yeah, like I said, let me know. Never going to match for everyone, but in any case, I think we can all agree that you probably want to avoid these. Yeah? Okay, so let's start at number 5, and that is indulgence practicing. That's right, just indulging. Right, now what do I mean by that? Basically, just playing through stuff that you already know and that you don't need to go over again. There's nothing per se, anything wrong with it, but at the same time, it's not helping you achieve your goal for that particular session, that particular week between from one lesson and the next. What I would suggest is do what you need to do first. Once you have done that, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with rewarding yourself by playing through some of the stuff that you already know that you really enjoy playing. So that's absolutely fine, but please don't make indulgence practicing the main focus of your playing. And on to mistake number 4. Now this is actually very much connected to the one before it, and that is practicing and not having a goal. Now if you don't have a goal, you're very likely to fall into the trap of indulgent practicing. But also, if you don't have a goal, how do you know where you're heading? See what I mean? If you know what you're going to want to achieve in that practice session, which is related to what you need to achieve in that week between one lesson and the next with your teacher, if you know what you need to get out of it, you're much more likely to get that out of the practice session. So whatever you do, make sure at the beginning of the session, you think to yourself, okay, what do I want to achieve this session? And then try and stick to it. After you've done that, absolutely go and do your indulgence practicing, do whatever you need to do, or what you want to do, should I say, but have a goal at the beginning of every session. On to mistake number 3, playing too fast. What? But it's a fast piece, I need to play it fast. Yeah, you do when you're performing it, not when you're practicing it, okay? So let me give a little bit of context around this. Now, I'm sorry to say this, but your brain is very primitive, okay? I'm sorry, but it is. Mine is too. Before anyone starts saying anything, mine is too. We all have primitive brains. Now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a historian, I'm not a Darwinist or anything, or whatever study of Darwin, selection, all the rest of it. But what I have been told is that our brains haven't really developed an awful lot over the last 1,000, million, whatever years. So our brains, in essence, are still working in the same way as what they have been for all that time. They are not like computers. You cannot read a Shakespeare play once and then know it off by heart. If you can, you are the most amazing memory person, unless you've got some amazing type of memory. But most of us can't do that. A computer can. You type in Shakespeare's play and it will remember it forever. See what I mean? The way you learn is by what? Repetition. Repeating things over and over and over again. When you learnt to walk when you were a baby, you did it by repetition. You didn't just one day decide, oh, I can see everyone around me is doing this 2-footed thing. I'm going to try that too. Ha! Well, lo and behold, I can walk. No, it took a long time. First, you had to just sit up. That was a big task in itself. Then, by you standing up, holding on to things and standing up all by yourself. And then before you know, you start one step. It took practice, repetition, over and over and over again. And what I'm trying to get at is when you are practicing, you have to do lots of repetitions in order to learn, internalize whatever it is you're trying to learn. Don't feed your brain garbage. By going too fast, you'll most likely be making mistakes. You're most likely getting your fingering wrong. For instance, if there's a piano player, you might be, even a woodwind instrument or a string instrument, put your hands in the wrong place, using the wrong finger, what have you. But you're going to be making mistakes. So what happens is your brain remembers those mistakes because you're making the mistakes over and over again, which means you're going to waste time correcting it later on. Don't do that. Start, get it right from the beginning. Take it slowly, do whatever you need to do, break it down to really get it right. Feed your brain good stuff. And that kind of brings me on to mistake number 2. Don't just play through stuff, okay? Don't play long chunks. I mean, it's like, for instance, let's say you're learning a piece of music. Let's say it's 3 pages long, just for words. And say you've learned the first one. Now you're moving on to the second page. And what do? You just play through the second page from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. No, 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 and no. As with the previous point of going too fast, by playing through stuff, you're not giving your brain adequate chance to really hone in and learn what it needs to learn, or to remember what it needs to remember. So break it down, bite-sized chunks for your brain to remember. So don't do the whole page, don't do the first line, maybe do the first bar, even first half a bar, break it up, do hands separately, do just the rhythm, do the notes, but whatever it is you do, break it down to the extent that you can do it and then build on it. So don't feel like you have to constantly keep going, playing lots and lots of stuff. No, much better to learn 1 line in a practice session really, really well than learn 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 6 lines, whatever, really badly, because when you go back the next time, you might as well be starting again from the beginning. Okay? And that brings me on to the number 1 mistake people make when practicing. And I think a lot of you will probably have been screaming at your screens already, going, come on, when's it coming? And that is simply not doing enough of it, okay? There's an argument that can be made, obviously, quality against quantity. I've made that argument many times as well. However, you still need to put the time in. If you don't put enough time in, you will never get the results that you want. So whatever it is, please, please just put the time in that you need to do it. Sometimes obviously things gets in the way, life throws us a curveball. You're not always going to be able to do the same amount of practice every single week, but just think about what is an adequate amount of time and then try and stick to it. Which brings me on to my top tip in this video, and that is make your practice part of your daily routine or your weekly routine, preferably daily. But yeah, you know what I mean. So if that means you get home from school and the first thing you do is sit at the piano for half an hour, great, because it's then programmed into you to do that. If it is that every single lunchtime at school, you go to the music rooms, or you go to the practice room and you practice there for half an hour, that's great too. Making it part of your routine just makes it automatic. It just, your brain just kind of just does it. It's like, for instance, when you go to bed, what do? You go and brush your teeth. Do you even think about it? No, you just do it because you've done it for so many years. So it's the same thing with your practice. If you make it part of your routine, it just becomes second nature. Okay? So we're going to end it here. I hope you found something you like. As always, please let me know your thoughts, like the video, subscribe, and what have you. And yes, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.